item, a call to order the City Council meeting of November 2nd, 2019. We'll have our invocation by Mr. Losey Brown, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilor Pro Tem Crystal Smitherman. Will you all please stand?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You might want to take the time to mute your phones at this time. To the mayor and his staff, to our president, President Wardine Alexander, President Pro Tem Smitherman, to the Birmingham City Council. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come again calling on your name. We ask, Jesus, that you lift us up today in our deliberation of city government. Show us the way. Give us the leadership to render those issues for the masses of the people, that the results will fall in the hand that would be good government to all within the city of Birmingham. Father, we pray for our police department. Pray for their courage and their participation to help alter and stop the crime that exists in our city. We pray for their safety and their families back home that awaits their return. Give them the courage to go forward and execute their duties and responsibilities to the best of their abilities. This morning, Heavenly Father, we have a special prayer for the teachers in our city. Give our teachers the courage to continue on to educate and provide assistance and service to all the students of the Birmingham City school system. Bless the officials and leadership of our school system as you bless the Chief of Police and his staff. For these and all other blessings we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Abbott.
Present.
Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Moore.
Present. Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember O'Quinn.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember Tate.
Good morning. Present.
Good morning. Councilmember Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning. Councilmember Woods.
Present.
Council Pro Tem Smitherman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Council President Alexander.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Approval of the minutes from previous meetings from May 4th, May 11th, May 18th, 2021. Can I have a motion for approval of those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we've got Councilmember Williams. All right, voting should be up and starting.
I don't see voting on mine.
Okay, how would you like to vote now? Get you set up.
I'll abstain.
Okay.
Thank you.
That vote should be up for the minutes.
That motion passes. Thank you. Minutes are not ready for May 25th, 2021 through October 26th, 2021. Good morning, Mayor Whitman. Do we have any communications from you today?
No, ma'am. Good morning, Madam President. Good morning to the entire council.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any board and agency expirations?
Let's see right quick.
First reading? It should be a first reading. Okay.
No, ma'am, not at this time.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, would you read for us the consent agenda?
Okay.
Yes, possibly.
Consent agenda starts on page 2 with items 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we skip over to page 3 and we have item number 5 on consent. Page 4, we have items 8, 9, and 10 on consent. Page 5, we have items 11, 12, and 13 on consent. 1 second, please, if you give me a second. 5. Page 6, we have items 14, 15, and 16 on consent. Page 7, we have items 17, 19, and 20 on consent. Page 8, we have items 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26 on consent. Page 9, we have items 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 on consent. Please note that item number 32 should be withdrawn. That is item number 32. On page 10, we have items 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38 on consent. Page 11, we have items 39, 40, 41, and 42 on consent. On page 12, we have items 43, 44, 45, and we conclude with item number 46 on page 13.
Thank you very much. Councilors, are there any items that you all would like to pull or add to consent at this time? Councilor Quinn.
Thank you. I would like to take item, I'm trying to get back
That's okay.
to the pages, but items 4, 11,
Well, just run another copy.
12,
Let me get it.
and 17 off consent.
That's items 4 on page 2, items 11 and 12,
Yes, and item 17.
11 and 12 on page 5, and item 17 on page 7. Did you get those, Mr. Clerk?
Correct.
Give me 1 second.
Yes.
11, 12, and 17, correct? 4, 11, 12, and 17?
That's correct. Thank you.
All right.
Any other items any councilors would like to take off, Mr. Woods? That's item 5 on page
Wait 1 second.
3,
Hold on a second.
moved from consent. Any other items?
You said item 5?
Item 5, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Abbott?
Item 6, removed from consent.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, it's not
on there.
on consent.
That's okay. It's okay. Councilor Tate, did you have any items to move from consent? Councilor Williams? Madam Pro Tem?
Yes, I would like to remove items 14 and 16.
Those are items 14 and 16 on page 6. Mr. Moore
No, ma'am.
and Ms. Clark.
No.
Okay, and we were told that we had someone to speak. That is item 39, I'd like to pull from consent. That's on page 11.
39.
Do we need to recap those items, or are you good, Mr. Clerk?
Can we, did you add anything past the last
And I did add item 39.
39?
And,
So you're taking 39 off, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think I got everything, but if you give me a second, I can run right through it,
please do.
and everybody can catch up a little bit. Page 2, we got items 1, 2, and 3 on consent. Item 4 was removed. Page 3, item 5 was removed. Page 4, 8 through 10 are on consent. Page 5, items 11 and 12 were removed, and item 13 remains on consent. Page 6, item 14 was removed, as well as item number 16. Item 15 remains on consent. Page 7, item 17 was removed from consent, and items 19 and 20 remain on consent. Page 8, items 21 through 26 are still on consent. Page 9, we have items 27 through 31 on consent. Item 32 was withdrawn. Page 10, we have items 33 through 38 on consent. Page 11, item 39 was removed from consent, and we have items 40, 41, and 42 on consent. And on page 12, we have items 43 through 45 on consent, and we conclude with item 46.
All right, thank you very much.
So what about the rest?
All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member, the mayor, or a citizen interested in a public hearing so request. If so, Such items will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. All matters of permanent operation that are identified with the P will be read. All other matters will be announced by reading the item number only. All public hearings will also be announced. Do I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Councilor
moved and
Williams and
second.
Councilor Abbott.
Yes.
All right. Voting should be open now. Councilmember Woods. Okay, you down? Okay, that vote should be up.
All right,
Madam
thank you.
President.
The consent agenda passes. If anyone's here for any items that have been designated and approved as consent, you may leave. Your item has been approved, or if you just want to stay with us today, we're happy to have you. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, if you'll call for the first item.
Okay, first item should be item number 4, an ordinance to further amend the grants fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2022 by appropriating $353,899 to Police 2021 Justice Assistance Grant per award received. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
The item's been motioned and second. Is there any discussion on this item? We'll pull this one.
Yes,
Mr. O'Quinn.
yes, ma'am. If we could just get some additional explanation as to what programming this is going to be funding, appreciate it.
Chief or Mr. Mayor, do we have someone that can speak to that?
Good morning, Madam President.
Good morning.
As Mitchell, Councilor O'Quinn, I have to pull the actual grant that we had permission from the council to apply for this JAG grant, and we have to send you that. But this is just the reward amount that we got. That once we had approval from the council to apply for the grant, this is just appropriating the funds. But we can supply you with the actual, recitals of what the grant will do.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions that satisfy to get that information later? Would you be okay with that? Okay. Any other questions about this item? Okay, we're ready for the vote.
That vote should be up, Madam President.
All right, item number 4 passes. Next item.
Item 5, an ordinance to amend the donations fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022, by appropriating $2,500 to Zion City Neighborhood Association, $5,000 to Roebuck Springs Neighborhood Association, $10,000 to Huffman Neighborhood Association, $3,518 to Pine Knoll Vista Neighborhood Association, $2,500 to Maple Grove Neighborhood Association, $2,500 to Roebuck Neighborhood Association, $2,500 to Airport Neighborhood Association, $2,500 to Penfield Park Neighborhood Association, and $5,000 to Kilo Springs Neighborhood Association per donations received from State Representative Yolanda Hollis. Motion, please.
All right, Mr. Woods, you had pulled this item.
Thank you, Madam President. Wanted to take a minute and thank Representative Hollis. Several of the neighborhoods in District 1 have been working on community and capital and right-of-way improvement projects, and so this funding is going to go a long way towards achieving some of the goals that we've had. And so I wanted to publicly thank her for really giving this funding that's going to help supplement the neighborhood funding as well as some of the district funding and city funding to improve the area. So I wanted to thank Representative Yolanda Hollis for her support.
Yes, sir. Mr. Williams?
Yeah, can I echo my colleague's sentiments in thanking Representative Hollis? She has done an outstanding job of making sure that she partners with us. I know that it's always nice when you have a member of the Jefferson County delegation that partners with you on in your district, in your area of the city. So that is why we are East Side strong. So thank you, Representative Hollis.
Thank you very much. So District 1 and 2 are in accord. They're very happy. Ms. Abbott?
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask, are we using our request to speak button now that we've come into the new world?
Very good question. Does the button work?
It does.
Okay.
Okay.
So counselors, you do have a request to speak button or,
I'll put it to you so that you can see who's asking,
okay.
and you should be
And
able
then
to see
if you
who's
just tap
requesting.
on it, then it would let me know who needs to speak. Did you speak and I view speakers? Thank you very much. I love that.
Yes, I just want to move back into the electronic world.
Thank you.
But that's not the reason that I
Go
asked to
ahead.
speak. I just wanted to make sure, since our agenda says that Representative Hollis's name is Roland, I just wanted to make sure that that was corrected for the record so that we don't, you know.
Typo, I got you.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Mrs. Abbott. Have we voted on the item yet? I don't remember voting.
No, ma'am.
Let's go ahead and vote. Thank you.
Can I get who made the second? I'm sorry.
Okay, could we go ahead again and motion the item in the second?
I got the motion, Councilmember Williams.
And I seconded.
All right.
Okay.
Williams and Abbott. All right, a vote
Voting
is
should
for
be
it.
open. Councilmember Woods, got you. All right, the vote should be up.
All right, thank you. That item number 5 passes. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to ask if the council would consider a suspension of the rules before we discuss item number 6. We do have some speakers that wanted to speak. If I could get so moved, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
If I could get one, there are a number of you that want to speak to item 6. If I could get one representative to come up and speak, give you 3 minutes, and you want to address this item before we consider it. Thank you. If you'll come forward and give us your name and address.
My name is Anadelia Espino. My address is 105 County Road 1578 in Baileyton, Alabama. I am the executive director for the Alabama Coalition for Immigrant Justice.
Thank you. And did you have any comments you wanted to make before the council regarding this item?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Madam President, President Pro Tem, council members. My comments are that in the spirit of Birmingham being the Magic City and also being a welcoming city and very soon host of the World Games, and with the mayor's office coordinating an immigrant advocacy task force or work group or something else. Item number 6 is a slap in the face because it is talking about collaborations with ICE. And though there is some messaging there that tells us that there is limited participation, it still doesn't take away the fact of the repercussions where police relationships with immigrant communities are not strong. It adds to profiling, over-policing, and criminalization of people of color. Immigrants come in all shades and variations. We are not just all Mexican. We are here from different countries of the United States and from the world, in this beautiful city. And this is really a breakdown of the trust and the hard work that we have been doing in advocacy for the immigrant community. We were talking about Birmingham becoming a sanctuary city, and that didn't happen. A welcoming city is a city that values immigrants and what they bring into our economy, and this is possibly a very hurtful item proposed. There is no need for our police to be trained as ICE officers in any way, shape, or form because it opens the door to deepening more distrust and hurt to our communities and our relationships as Birminghamians and as Alabama residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Clerk, if you'll go ahead and call the item up for us.
Yes, ma'am. Item 6, an ordinance pursuant to Alabama Act number 1969-916, authorized the mayor and/or the chief of police to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement for a period not to exceed 3 years between the city of Birmingham and the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement for the purpose of cooperation and coordination for the effective enforcement of laws relating to ICE's homeland land security investigation. Jurisdiction by designating certain officers of the Birmingham Police Department as customs officers authorized to enforce the full range of federal offenses, excluding administrative violations of the immigration law. The assigned BPD officers will complete the appropriate HSI Task Force Officer Cross-Designation Training course prior to being designated as customs officer. The city will be eligible for possible distribution of some seized money and assets, and further authorizing the mayor and/or the chief of police and any designated BPD officer who successfully completes the HSI Task Force Officer Cross-Designation Training course to execute any additional documents necessary to accomplish the purpose of this agreement. Motion, please. Okay, and this is for UC.
Second.
First reading. Let me just call it. Councilmember Abbott.
Aye.
Council, I don't know why it's coming up like this. It shouldn't.
And it's for UC, right?
Yes. Councilmember Clark.
No.
Okay.
If you vote no, Counselor, we can't discuss it. So do you want to? We're just,
This is UC.
and we can't move
To
it
get it
to
on the floor.
committee or get it on the floor. Yes, sorry.
To consider for passage today. Councilmember Clark?
Aye.
Okay. Councilmember Moore?
Aye.
Councilmember O'Quinn?
Aye.
Councilmember Tate?
Aye.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Woods?
Aye.
Council Pro Tem Smitherman?
Aye.
Council President Alexander?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. At this time, we wanted to entertain discussions from any. Well, first we'll hear from the mayor, who recommended this item. And Mayor,
It's okay with you, Madam President. I'd like to defer to the
Okay.
Chairman of Public Safety, Councilor Hunter Williams, and then allow council to speak. And if it's okay with you, then I'll have an opportunity to respond.
Okay. Is that good with you, Madam President?
yes, it is. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On this item, I want to give a little background to it. First of all, thank you for your comments. Thank you, Hicka, for your calls. But I kind of want to give some background to it, and also would like to, if it's okay with the president at the time, have our HICA representatives come up and speak to a certain portion of this. I think that it's very important that we, as a city, we have a large amount of issues from a systemic nature as well as a day-to-day transactional crime nature. And the last thing that we have any intent, and it's my understanding that the mayor and I are on the same accord, have any intent of BPD becoming immigration officers or doing any type of administrative immigration enforcement. We have enough problems here, and we want to make sure that our immigrant community, no matter what color they are welcome in the city of Birmingham. That's what America is founded on, and that is what the city of Birmingham, I think, collectively believes in, and I think that we're going to make sure that we do that both in the way that we word our resolutions and ordinances, especially the way that we do our practice. I know that that there is a lot of sensitivity because of national conversations around what ICE is doing and has done in the past. But I also want to discuss specifically what this task force does on a day-to-day basis, as well as what they will be given the limited capacity to do within the authorization that this language is proposing. This is an existing task force that is operated in the city of Birmingham that was last approved by this council a couple years ago in, I believe it was late June. But this, the main purpose of this task force is to combat both human trafficking and large-scale narcotics operations in the city of Birmingham. I'm going to read a statement by Mr. Gilmer, who is the special agent in charge over this unit for Homeland Security Investigations. And please realize, I know that Homeland Security Investigations is a division of ICE. We all know that. But this Homeland Security Investigations Unit is specifically tasked with narcotics and human trafficking and not with any removal of or doing administrative interior removal work. In this last fiscal year, in just this office, the Birmingham office, one labor exploitation case, we freed 51 adults and children from exploitation and successfully prosecuted 5 offenders. We saw the single largest sex trafficking indictment in Alabama. We facilitated more than 100 forensic interviews of minors, many from the city of Birmingham, who are victims of sexual abuse and other sexual-related torture. Our child sex trafficking team is recognized as one of the top 12 programs in the nation by the National Judiciary. Through undercover work and other teamwork, we have stopped a man who sought to kidnap, rape, torture, and murder 2 girls while filming his crimes. He was arrested on federal charges. Last year, we arrested 102 felons, seized $4 million in illicit proceeds. That's not including material things like cars, homes, things of that nature. 35 pounds of heroin, 28 pounds of cocaine, 15 pounds of fentanyl, 185 pounds of methamphetamine. We took 20 illegal firearms off the street as well. Also, this past week, this group just took 4.5 kilos of heroin and half a kilo of fentanyl, 2 guns, one was semi and one was fully automatic street sweeper off the streets of Birmingham. I think that it's important to note that, you know, with the crime problem and with the violent crime problem that we have in Birmingham, we all know that the solution is education and economic opportunity. But in the meantime, we cannot allow people that traffic individuals or narcotics. I'm not talking about people that got weed in the car, but I'm talking about people that seriously traffic individuals or narcotics, especially exploit children. We cannot allow them to have a safe haven on our streets. Birmingham Police does an excellent job of a lot of things, but we are a city police department. We do not have the resources that the federal government has in dealing with some of these large, complex criminal enterprises that have multinational backing, and we simply don't, and that is why we have to partner with them. With that, if it's okay with you, Madam President, I want to be explicitly clear in this ordinance or resolution that we do not, that we spell out. We do not want a Birmingham police officer, or quite frankly, any Birmingham city employee assisting in administrative removal or interior removal of any person, whether they be an immigrant or they're a subject of any federal investigation. So is it amenable if we have Mr. Carlos come up from HICA to discuss what he would think that language should look like?
Yes, thank you very much. I think most of us know you, but for our records, would you just state your name and address?
Carlos Suleiman, 804 Southwood
I have
Circle.
to speak in that mic just a little bit more. Yeah,
Is that better?
that's better.
Okay. Carlos Suleiman, 804 Southwood Circle, Birmingham, Alabama. First of all, I want to thank you, Madam President, Council Pro Tem, the mayor, and all the fellow councilors for the many phone calls and text messages that we exchanged over the past 24 hours. I will say that, to Councilor Williams' point, HICA has partnered and worked with HSI in human trafficking cases. As a fellow counselor in another neighboring city, I understand the importance of this issue for our community in making sure that we mitigate against the abuses committed by certain folks in our communities. Our community also often is a victim of human trafficking. And so in our capacity in terms of helping people have humanitarian visas through when they are victims of crime, it's an important role that we work together. I had an opportunity to also speak to Agent Gilmer prior to this meeting today. But I'll be honest, he and I were both caught off guard that this item was coming up today, that we didn't know that this was happening, and that the language is still problematic. And I think that it is not clear, right? While it is plain, it is not clear as to the extent of the cooperation between the city of Birmingham and HSI or ICE, right? Because what happens when an agent is an HSI agent, and when the enforcement arm of ICE calls and asks for information and asks for detainers, what is the intention of the cooperation between the two parties? We would like clarification on that, because what I want to be able to tell my community is that they are being both safe and protected, and that this is, if it's specifically about human trafficking or even narcotics, that it should explicitly state that. Otherwise, it can be interpreted too broadly. We can't assure the safety of our community. And so respectfully, we ask that you clarify exactly what you mean when it means that a Birmingham police officer is an HSI customs officer. In my understanding, these powers are broad and they are protected federally, and that limits and overrides local policy. And so we just want to be as clear as possible so that I can confidently tell my community, you'll be all right.
So
Thank you.
Would it be amenable, sir, to change this language to state a couple of things? One of which is that BPD personnel will still continue to abide by all policies and procedures they currently have in place. The second is that any BPD officer or other city employee will not act in any type of administrative or enforcement removal of any person, whether they be an immigrant or otherwise.
I believe that's a good start.
Is that amicable?
That would be a good start. But I do think that, again, explicit language as to what these federal felonies are that we're considering, and because in the many conversations I've had with the mayor and with the counselors, it's been reiterated to me that this is about human trafficking. But nowhere in the actual document, either the MOU or the agenda item, does it say human trafficking.
So I think it's a few things. I think it's our federal firearms statutes. I think it's narcotics and human trafficking. I don't think it's specific to just human trafficking.
If we could list all three, Counselor Williams, that'd be great also.
I'll defer to the, I mean, that's going to take language from the law.
But thank you.
On that.
So can you give us the explicit of what you just said? I have firearms, human trafficking. We have Attorney Roberts here as well.
Yeah, I think that it should be stated that that Birmingham police personnel will continue to follow our policies and procedures that we have set forth for the department, as well as in their capacity of working on this task force. They will not participate in any, I don't know if you want to call it forcible removal of an immigrant, however you want to word it, and the deportation. They will not participate in the deportation process, and their investigative scope will be limited to human trafficking operations, narcotics operations, and operations dealing with illegal firearms or explosives.
We have that language. We'll incorporate it.
Ma'am?
We have that language. Attorney Roberts will incorporate that.
Okay. Madam President, back to you.
Thank you. Before you speak, Counselor, if you want to go ahead and...
I just have one more question, just because, will this be officially amended in the MOU? Because, I mean, that's the item that ultimately would be held up in agreement between you all and ICE. And while we can change an agenda item, it'll be really only viable if it's within the actual MOU. Thank you.
Well, let me ask Attorney King, thank you for that question and clarification. This will be listed in our ordinance. I know the MOU is the driving document, but what we will be guided by and legislated by is the language we're putting in the ordinance. Is that correct? That's correct. And I can also have Attorney Roberts come up to provide clarification on some of the language. Thank you. And then Dr. O'Quinn has asked to speak, and I have other speakers, but I do see some others. We'll get Attorney Roberts just to clarify that so we can move forward.
Okay, the current ordinance excludes enforcement of administrative law
Can you speak into
altogether. Is that better?
Yes, please restate that so we can all hear you. Thank you.
Sure. The ordinance excludes administrative enforcement or enforcement of administrative law altogether. That would include such things as deportation and administrative detention.
Attorney Roberts, can you pause there? It's the language I sent each of you this morning and spoke to you about. It's very clear in the memorandum of understanding, quote, excluding administrative violations of immigration law is direct, plain language that does not allow the city of Birmingham to engage in any form of deportation or allow our jail to house deportation. It is very clear. It's in the language.
And I believe by adding the language that Mr. Williams has proposed, that just further clarifies that. So,
well, it could restrict a little bit more. HSI's jurisdiction is spelled out in the statutes. So if we're restricting it more than their jurisdiction, that could affect the law enforcement's ability to be effective in the detection and elimination of human trafficking and drug trafficking.
all right, thank you. Mr. Mayor, did you have something else?
The clarity that you want, it's in the language. It spells out, we won't engage, and that's what it spells out. That's what that means.
But we've already said we would be able to add that additional language.
Well, what Attorney Roberts is speaking to is that additional language could cause restrictions, and so we would have to verify that with the entities.
As part of that memorandum of understanding.
Right.
Okay. Dr. O'Quinn, thank you, Mr. Roberts. Dr. O'Quinn.
Thank you, President Alexander. With all due respect, I'm not in favor of us trying to rewrite, the language here from the dais. I'm also, not familiar with the federal code of regulations and the definition of administrative violations. So, I would definitely want to look that up in the federal code, exactly how administrative violations is defined, because I think that would, give me an understanding of what that term actually means. People can stand up here all day long and tell me what that means, but until I see it in writing in the code, that's what determines the reality of the situation. So, all that being said, I think, we have sufficient justification to refer this to Public Safety Committee for further evaluation, and that will be my motion.
All right. I see your motion, but I would like to allow those other speakers to talk as part of the discussion. Ms. Abbott?
Well, yes, thank you. And my question was the same thing. For the attorneys in the crowd, you may know what excluding administrative violations of immigration law means, but for those of us who are not really involved with these things, we don't necessarily know in detail what that means. We know what people have told us it means, but we don't know what it means. So I'm with Dr. O'Quinn on that one. And then last night at the Glen Iris Neighborhood Association, they actually had so much concern about it that they passed a resolution from the Neighborhood Association regarding this item, just wanting to make sure that that there's not increased profiling and all the other things that you hear about that no one wants to do, or at least we don't, and wondered if any local immigrant groups had been included in the conversation. And I understand that HICA has been, but I guess only in the last little bit. So, and we certainly don't want to do anything that, we don't want criminals in our city. We certainly don't want human trafficking, and we don't really want people, trafficking in drugs and guns. So I don't give a hoot what happens to those people. But I don't want to see it ooze out into just regular folks And that's my concern, and that seemed to be the concern at the neighborhood meeting last night. How can we be a welcoming city if we're joining with ICE? Because ICE just has a bad connotation. So that's kind of, I'm item 6. I don't feel comfortable with it at this time for these reasons, and it may just be that I don't know enough. But and that resolution from the neighborhood association was sent to all the city council members, but it was sent maybe last night or this morning. So
thank you, Ms.
Thank
Abbott.
you.
And Ms. Tate.
Madam President, I'd like to also echo what council colleagues has said as well. I would like to get, some clarity and making sure that we are sticking to what we say, that we are in Birmingham a welcoming city and not causing further harm, to our immigration community. I have great respect for Isabel and Carlos and all of the people, and the great work that they have done. But I would like to get, some clarity as well before I'm able to move on the item as well.
Thank you, Ms. Tate. I don't know, Mr. Mayor, did you have another comment? Are you good? All right.
Just last comment, Madam President, to you and your colleagues as you seek your clarity. I've stated pretty on a consistent basis, the city of Birmingham doesn't have any interest in doing the federal government's job, but I think, words, there's something more powerful than words, and that's like your actions. And I think this administration, this police department, as well as the city council knows that in 4 years, no one in any community, Hispanic, black, white, organization, individual, can say the city of Birmingham has participated in any rounding up of an individual or a group of people, and we're not here to do the job of deportation. I think people's feelings and concerns are warranted. I think the prior, White House and federal administration under Trump did a lot of things that were not, that were inhumane to people. But this is not what that is. I understand that concern, and I wanted to speak to that concern. At the same time, I wanted to strike a balance with an interest that I know many people in this day share, which is human trafficking is a problem in the city of Birmingham. Trafficking in illegal guns is a problem in the city of Birmingham. And the sale of illegal drugs is a problem in the city of Birmingham. And I think that's important to note, which is why we are doing this. I think it's also important to note the city of Birmingham is currently under an agreement with ICE, which we've been in for 3 years. And in that 3 years, no one can say or speak to the fact that we have deported or engaged in a deportation or anyone, or use our jail as a housing of deportation. And we'll continue on that mark because that's personally important to me.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Listening to the sentiment of the council, I do feel a movement of unreadiness to act on this item at this time. I just want to say we'll entertain a motion, and I believe you had a counter motion on the floor. Are you giving a substitute motion?
I'm offering a substitute motion to refer this item to the Public Safety Committee.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, at this time, we'll take a vote, and we would entertain moving this item and further discussion to the Public Safety Committee. Mr. Clerk would call for the vote. All right, thank you very much. At this time, we will move item number 6. That's moved to the Public Safety Committee. We'll have further discussion. We'll get the information that was requested from councilors for clarification on the different acts and the different wording that may come forward from the Office of the City Attorney. Thank you. Next item.
Item 7, an ordinance approving and authorizing the mayor to execute a First Amendment to lease agreement with the Jefferson County Emergency Management Agency and the Birmingham Emergency Communications District, under which the city, the Jefferson County Emergency Management Agency, and the Birmingham Emergency Communications District will confirm the extension through January 31st, 2024 of the existing lease agreement between the parties, under which the city leases space in the basement area of the south parking deck of City Hall. to Jefferson County Emergency Management Agency and the Birmingham Emergency Communications District, and the lease agreement will be amended to change the rent paid to the city from $26,350 per year to $1 per year. This is the first permanent operation. Need a UC for first reading passage.
Motion.
Second.
That was Councilor Williams and Councilor Tate.
Yes, second.
Okay, I got to do 1 second, please. Councilmember Abbott. This is for UC for the.
UC, aye.
Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Quinn.
Aye.
Councilmember Tate.
Aye.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Woods. Aye. Council President Pro Tem Smitherman. Council President Pro Tem Smitherman.
Aye.
Council President Alexander.
Aye.
All right, motion on the item.
I move approval.
Second.
All right, item is before you.
I don't, oh, do we have speakers? All right, Ms. Abbott.
Well, I just wanted to ask a question about this. We're going from charging them $26,000 plus for rent down to $1, and I just want to know if they pay their own utilities and all that, if this is a wash, or if we're going to be underwriting them from now on.
Madam
Yes,
President.
sir.
So, Council, yes, because as you know, that the council are members of the 911 district, so they have their own separate budget to take care of the facility costs of being in the basement. So this is just a good faith effort because we rely heavily on EMA, especially with the World Games coming up. So this is just an effort to say thank you and just, you you already have your own separate budget. You do, all your construction needs and buy furniture through the district, and so we're just it's a wash.
Okay, that was, I'm just curious. I mean, they certainly are a great asset to have here at City Hall. Thank you. Thank you, Madam
Ms.
President.
Abbott. I don't have any other speakers, so now we can call for the vote. All right, that item passes. Next item.
Should be item 11, a resolution authorizing the mayor to submit, execute, and expend, accept, and to take any and all actions as are appropriate and necessary in accordance with the terms of the grant submission requirements and grant agreement with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's FEMA Flood Mitigation Assistance Program for an estimated $82,425 in federal grant funds to assist the city in designing and developing a proposed community mitigation project in the North Birmingham community. The maximum expedited project duration is 3 years, and the estimated total project cost of $109,900, and required city match in the amount not to exceed $27,475, which may be in the form of monetary contribution, labor, materials, or services. Motion, please.
Move it. Second.
Been moved by
Williams, Council Pro Tem Smith.
Williams and Pro Tem. And so, Dr. O'Quinn, you want to speak to this item?
Yes. So is Shuttlesworth Memorial Park an existing city park?
And who could speak to that item for us? That question.
So as it relates to this item, we have Mr. Chris Hatcher, who will be available to speak, Council, but I want to make sure we're understanding your question. You're saying, is it an existing park?
Yeah, so if you look in the supporting documents, this specifically refers to the proposed Shuttlesworth Memorial Park.
It's not an existing park.
It's not existing.
What's the question?
So the documents that support this agenda item specifically refer to this being related to Shuttlesworth Memorial Park.
So, Councilor, Ms. Tracy Hayes from our Planning, Engineering, and Permits Department is here. She'll speak to your question.
Ms. Hayes, thank you.
Good morning. That's the name that we just chose to name that because with Bethel Baptist Church, and that was the name that they gave us. So it's the Shuttlesworth and the Memorial Park is the same thing.
Okay, so it generally refers to the Collegeville neighborhood in that area along 27th Avenue where we've historically had flooding routinely. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't creating a new park in the city of Birmingham to add to the 117 that we already have.
That was a good question. Thank you.
That we can't maintain.
Why they don't have any other speakers. Dr. O'Quinn was the only one. So we're ready for the vote.
What are we on? 11. Okay.
7-11.
So we're voting on item 11.
Let me.
He's
I'll
just going to
pull
get
it
that
down.
back for us.
Okay. I pulled the motion down to 11.
Thank you.
Council. It doesn't. It shouldn't now. It should have moved.
It still says 7.
Okay. Well, let me just delete and start over then. What about now?
Still says 7.
Still says 7.
Okay. Y'all gonna have to reboot in order to get to the point where I am. That's the problem. We got to go in, out the app, and back into the app. That's all.
So we have to reboot.
In order for not totally reboot, just go out of the app and go back into it, and it should get you on the same prompt I'm on. Did it go, Jashira?
Or we could take a voice vote on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilmember Abbott.
Aye.
Maybe it'll catch up. Councilmember Clark.
Aye.
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Quinn.
Aye.
Councilmember Tate.
Aye.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Woods.
Aye.
Councilmember Smitherman.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tem Smitherman, and Council President Alexander.
Aye.
All right.
So item 11 passes. Thank you. Next item.
Should be item 12.
Thank you.
Let's see. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an event sponsorship agreement with ESPN Productions Incorporated, under which ESPN shall plan, implement, and host the NCAA Birmingham Bowl football game in the Birmingham, Alabama on December 28, 2021 at Protective Stadium. The Birmingham Bowl is expected to bring college athletics numerous fans, visitors, and officials from outside the city, and will create and foster community pride while providing recreation and entertainment opportunities for attendees, bring jobs, and have a positive economic impact for the city. For ESPN hosting the Birmingham Bowl in Birmingham, the city will provide sponsorship incentives to ESPN not to exceed $200,000 and other in-kind related services in accordance with Amendment Number 772. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Pro Tem Smitherman, Councilmember Tate. The item should be before you.
Thank you. Councilor Smitherman.
Yes, thank you, President Alexander. In the past, we've had the Birmingham Bowl at Legion Field. What was the reason for moving it? Because we still have to have a balance of sporting events both at Legion Field and at Protective Stadium.
We didn't move it.
We didn't move it?
No.
This,
What is it saying?
It says at Protective
Protective.
Stadium.
it says
I guess maybe the
Protective
question is-
Stadium. I'm talking about the location.
We didn't decide the location.
They did.
ESPN did? or-
ESPN.
Correct. We have a desire for the game to be in our city limits, but we did not dictate the location. City of Birmingham owns and operates Legion Field, where we gave $500,000. Our desire is for the game to remain in our city limits to produce an economic impact, as well as for our citizens to be able to participate in the attraction. However, if they made a choice to move to a new stadium that is not owned or operated by us, would you like to continue to give them $500,000?
Okay, those are definitely two different issues, Mayor Woodfin. I was just saying that I just want to make sure that we continue to make sure Legion Field is being operated. Because if we continue to allow games like this to move from Legion Field to Protective Stadium, then Legion Field almost will cease to exist in a few years. But those are two different issues. But okay, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Ms. Abbott?
Yeah, I had a question, and it's regarding the other in-kind related services. And I wanted to know, do we have a set amount of money that we allocate for Protective Stadium and for Legion Field when an entity plays a game there? Is there a set dollar amount of police and fire and whatever other public works, all those services that we provide? I'm just curious as to the cost of that, but it's just a matter of curiosity whether there's a standard amount.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
to your colleague question. An event is already set at Legion Field that we own and operate. We solve for in-kind costs. However, if that is an event in our city limits but not owned and operated by us, we don't solve for that cost. It is on that organization or that entity to solve for that cost.
Okay, so we don't provide in-kind services at Protective Stadium, we only provide them, but it says we're doing that in this item. $200,000 in other in-kind related services. So what are the other in-kind related services if we don't provide them?
To be determined. It has to be negotiated.
But as standard, that does not necessarily include safety, fire, those type things. Is that what we're saying?
That is 100% correct, Madam
Okay.
President. We haven't been engaged. That we don't even know what other organizations are even participating in or what the requests are.
But those in-kind, okay, in-kind, because we're saying 200,000, but we also have the in-kind that we're placing in here. Does that answer that or clarify that?
Well, no, it doesn't, because if we're not providing them at Protective Stadium, then the other in-kind related services wouldn't be in this agreement if we only provide them at Legion Field. In-kind services. So I'm a little bit confused by the answer. Maybe I just can't hear. That's a possibility. But if we don't provide the in-kind services like police, fire, and public works anywhere but Legion Field because we own it and we don't own Protective Stadium, then why does this say other in-kind related services? Because this game is going to be played at Protective Stadium.
Would you like that language removed?
Well, yeah, if we don't provide the services there.
Cool.
I mean, isn't that logical?
Or if we had an example of what those other in-kind, we don't know what they might be outside of that. Okay. We can remove that language.
Well, I don't want to hurt the game. It's just that the mayor just said we only provide the in-kind services at Legion Field because we own it. We don't provide them at Protective because we don't own it. So if we don't provide them at Protective, the language shouldn't be in here because this game is at Protective.
Just for the record, Madam President,
Yes.
we're usually consistent in our language. In-kind is a request. It can be denied in full, it can be granted in full, it can be negotiated. But it's part of the language. It's pretty standard. We don't even know what the request is.
Well, go ahead. Councilor Williams. I got you. Councilor Williams?
Yeah, just to clarify, I mean, we're helping host this event, which is an economic driver for the city of Birmingham. We will be providing services. Some of them will be in kind, some of them will be not. But that's just yet to be negotiated is what it sounds like. And this is giving you the opportunity to negotiate up to that amount to help facilitate the games happening. Is that correct?
I'll let you speak first next time.
Yeah, I mean, because we are the ones that have the police department and fire department, and so we're going to be providing the services. It's just that the mayor needs to negotiate how much he's going to, like what Chaz say, we gave the EMA a thank you gift. But, I mean, we do have to provide the services. We do have to keep the citizens safe. I think that there's an amount that we need to allow the mayor to negotiate to support this game happening in the city of Birmingham.
Okay, well, then we shouldn't be saying that we don't provide in-kind at a stadium we don't own. We will if we feel like it, okay? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. We will do it if we think it's in our best interest. So, boom, we do provide in-kind services at a stadium we don't own.
Actually, for UAB, we don't. So it's whatever the language Madam Abbott wants to have that works for her, let me know.
Well, this question certainly has turned into a bigger bucket of mess than I had intended. I thought there was a straightforward answer, but there's not, so I'm just going to let it go. You know, I would like to know how much it is and how we pay for it. I mean, we're approving something that we don't know how much money it's going to cost. And the fire and police and public works people do insist on being paid.
We know it won't.
So we know there's a cost.
Well, we know it'll be under $200,000.
That's what I was going to say. It's under the $200,000, up to that $200,000 level to be included. If they ask for any of those services, it goes up to that amount, the $200,000. So we do have an idea of the cost or what we would be allowed to be spent. Ms. Clark?
That's not what it says, though. That's not what it says. It says we're giving them incentives not to exceed $200,000 and other in-kind related services that we don't know how much they cost. I was trying to get to the cost, and clearly I'm not going to get to it because they hadn't asked for anything yet. But if they ask for something, is it coming back to the council? Or are we just approving this like a blank check?
I'm unaware if that city council approves overtime or any form of in-kind costs. But I could be wrong.
And that's why I was asking what would be in kind and what would be this. I'm going to hear from Ms. Clark, and then we'll see if we can get some other language in here.
Madam President, my question was related to the the answer he just gave. I've worked on events where there were certain in-kind services that were at the discretion of the administration. And, you know, we didn't always get a full waiver of the fees, and it seemed to be, you know, whatever budget-wise they could afford to give or wanted to give. So there does, in my experience, seem to be some discretion on supporting different events, but it doesn't come before the council. So I don't know if by removing the language we would remove that discretion, or if that discretion is there, whether the language is here or not.
Let me offer this.
That's my question. I guess that's a question.
Let me offer this and see if this can come to a happy medium with all of us. We replace the and we insert with inclusive of. So it would be not to exceed $200,000, inclusive of other in-kind related services. And that still gives the mayor and his team the discretion to make
Whatever
those.
satisfies you.
All right. Are we good with that? Okay.
Well, unless it jeopardizes us hosting the event. I mean, can we just get a verbal commitment to the mayor to let us know what in-kind services happen during the game?
That's even easier, sir.
All right.
Because I don't want to not have the ESPN Bowl because they needed $300,000 worth of police and fire protection.
Correct.
Or Public Works.
Well, we know.
It's an example. I'm not giving any, I don't have any quotes. It's just, I don't want to jeopardize the event because we on the dais, without any knowledge of what is being asked, just decide to come up with a number.
Dr. O'Quinn?
Yeah, I think, you know, the language that was recommended, you know, puts a cap on it, and I'm not a fan of giving blank checks, and the 200,000 and language, kind of makes it a blank check. So I'd be supporting the recommendation to replace the word "and" with the term "inclusive of," which, makes everything that's being offered 200,000, and last time I checked, we're here every week. So, if it needs to be amended, bring it back to us next week and we'll amend it.
Well, before you do that, Dr. O'Quinn, that language does restrict our ability to negotiate whatever terms in kind are.
And, again, we're here every week, and everybody's got my telephone number, and I think everybody else has got, telephone numbers, so we're part of the negotiations.
That is actually an administrative function, but if you want to be part and this game doesn't go, that's on y'all. Have at it.
I would like to see the language where the council feels comfortable with. We don't want to impede or impact the opportunity for this game to occur because of the economic impact that we could see from it. So I guess I just want to be sure councilors are clear how this language sets then the tone of any negotiations for those in-kind services.
I'm okay with it.
Are we okay with it the way that it reads?
I'm not. Because we still don't know how much money we might be spending, and we don't know where it's coming from.
I see that inclusive of still allows you, Mayor Whiffen, to make those negotiations. Inclusive of.
Madam President,
Yes, sir, Mr. Wood.
we'll be open to setting a cap on the in-kind services as well, setting a dollar value to that.
My only hesitance with that, and I'll ask the pleasure of the council, is that we don't know what those services may be, and when they come back and ask for those, we can't set that cap now because we don't know what those in-kinds may be.
Madam President.
Yes, Ms. Clark.
I just wanted to ask, is the administrative discretion regarding granting of in-kind services limited by the budget and what's in the operating budget to work with? I mean, I would think it's already limited. That discretion is limited by those operating quantities that are approved in the budget in terms of overtime and such. So if you give it away on this, you can't give it away on something else because there is a limit. And so, I mean, that's what I've always thought with regard to that administrative discretion, that it's limited by the budget.
Mr. Moore.
Oh, I withdrawn, but I was just going to ask, do we have an idea of like what those in-kind services would be and how much those services would cost? And if so, just kind of allocating that amount.
Madam President, as much as I love to be the chair of public safety, the mayor's job here is to be over the functions of Public Works, Birmingham Fire and Rescue, and Birmingham Police, and whatever overtime he has built in the budget, and I believe that's his purview to be negotiating, not our purview to be negotiating on the dais. And I think we're really kind of walking a tight line between what is the mayor's responsibility and ours. I don't, he has to obviously give an amount of in-kind service that is within the budget. He can't print money like our friends at the federal government. So we've already allocated a certain amount of overtime for the mayor to negotiate fire and police services to this and all of the events in the city of Birmingham. And it is, to my understanding, his discretion.
Thank you, Councilor Williams. I think we want to be mindful again of what our role is and what that is of administration when these items come before us and when we have this type of discussion. So with the current way that it's worded and other in-kind related services, we are allowing and trusting administration to make those negotiations and move the project forward for us. So, Mr. Mayor, do you have anything else to add?
No, ma'am.
Yes.
Madam President, I call for the question, please.
Yes. All right. And I'm sorry, Attorney King has one comment before we go that route.
I want you all to be mindful that a 772 notice has already been published, so you will have to make changes and it will have to be republished.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead with Councilor Tate. Did you have anything to add? We can call for the vote.
I just want to say, would it just be fair to just ask the mayor to just give us an update if he is willing? I think that may just be the safest way right now, because Council Williams is right. It's not in our role to negotiate anything, but we can request information. So maybe we should just do that moving forward so we don't step on any toes.
Thank you, Councilor. I'm going to go ahead.
President.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and my original question was, how much money do these in-kind services cost? Is there a standard amount at Legion Field and a standard amount at Protective? And that's when we found out Protective doesn't get any. So, you know, it's just a lack of information that we have. We've never been able to get any administration to tell us how much the in-kind services are for the Classic. Never. And look how long I've been here. We have never gotten an answer to how much do the in-kind services cost for the Classic. And people have been asking that for almost 20 years and still haven't gotten an answer. And that's a long time to wait. So the original question was just how much are we spending on this stuff? And it's, 30 minutes later, we're still here. Maybe it's only 20 minutes, but, it's the original question was how much are we spending? And it's just evolved. So I don't mind the language staying that way. I would just like to know how much we are spending. We should be able to determine that.
Thank you, Mrs. Abbott. We're asking Mr. Mayor to give us those updates, Mayor Whitlam, to give us those updates as they become, as you negotiate them, and just to give us an update at the conclusion, or if you go over the 200,000. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and call for the vote with the language kept as it is. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, if you'll call for the vote. All right, that item passes. Next item.
14. Item 14, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a joint funding agreement for water resources investigations with the U.S. Geological Survey, United States Department of Interior, under which USGS will assist the city in maintaining a program for the continued operation and maintenance of the USGS stream flow gauging stations, all with continuous monitoring of water temperature and specific conductance to compute stream flow of the full range of flow conditions. USGS will contribute an amount of $41,750, and the city will contribute an amount of $84,620 for services performed during the period October the 1st, 2021 through September the 30th, 2022. Motion, please.
I move approval.
Second.
All right,
thank you. We had a question about this item, Madam Pro Tem.
Just to explain it the way you all did at Budget and Finance, so just a little explanation for the public to know what's going on.
Thank you.
You say you want us to explain it again?
Yes.
Just like a Budget and Finance, so the public can know.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Tracy Hayes, Madam Pro Tem, is going to come up and explain the item.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Hayes, and I serve as Deputy Director of Planning, Engineering, Permits. We're using the gauges for water quality and also to monitor stream flow and stream height. and then we use that in our annual stormwater report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't have any other speakers. We'll call for the vote on this item. That item passes. Next item.
It'd be item 16, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to receive a grant from the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta of a non-exclusive limited license to use in Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta developed interactive tool called the Guaranteed Income Dashboard to assist the East Lake Initiative on behalf of the City of Birmingham to provide benefits, counseling, and limit the disruption of existing benefits for pilot participants as a result of the guaranteed income payments from the mayors for a guaranteed income pilot program in the City of Birmingham. This grant is being provided by the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta at no cost to the City of Birmingham.
I move approval.
Second. All right, thank you. And I believe you also want some clarification or just to make this known to the public.
Yeah, just to make it known to the public, just to talk about it.
So we can have the speaker just come up and give us an overview of this as we did in Budget and Finance.
Yes, ma'am. Madam President, Madam Pro Tem, Ms. Amelia Muller from the Mayor's Office will come up and give the overview.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, councilors. My name is Amelia Muller, and I serve as Civic Design Principal in the Mayor's Office. The item before you is for free use of a guaranteed income dashboard to be provided to our team by the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. It's a dashboard tool that they've utilized in other cities that they're partnering with for a guaranteed income pilot, and they'll be customizing it for our use and the use of East Lake Initiative, which will be working with us on this pilot to provide benefits counseling to the women who will be participating in the pilot. East Lake Initiative is an existing partner of the Atlanta Fed and works with them closely, so we're excited about this opportunity to provide them with yet another tool to counsel pilot participants.
Thank you very much. And Ms. Tate, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. How many participants will participate in the pilot?
Yes, ma'am. 110 benefit recipients will be selected to receive $375 a month for 12 months. There will be an additional 132 control group participants that will be selected. It's a randomized control trial, and those individuals will complete surveys about their experiences as well for a small fee to be compensated by the research partner.
And how will you target the participants getting the information out, to the community? Will it be strictly to the East Lake community?
It will not be strictly to East Lake. It will be citywide. We are focusing this pilot on single mothers, broadly construed. So the pilot is accessible to anyone who is a single female head of family caring for children under the age of 18. We know that among those families with children in Birmingham, 60% of those households are helmed by single women, which is why we've chosen to focus this pilot in this manner.
And so what type of measurable outcomes will participants receive from the pilot? Like some type of training?
Yes, ma'am. So the pilot participants will be evaluated over the course of the pilot and through surveys after by the research partner. We've seen in pilots in other cities how this additional income has impacted their ability to access jobs, their ability to access health care, to take family members to dialysis appointments, et cetera. So there's a sort of core set of metrics that the research partner will evaluate. In addition to that, we are working to compile resources available to not just these pilot participants, but any single mother in Birmingham to publish on this website. It's important to both to our working community and also to the integrity of the pilot that any resources we publicize to participants are accessible to anyone in Birmingham.
All right, great. Thanks. That's a great program, great initiative. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't have any other speakers, so we can go ahead and call for the vote. All right, that item passes. Next item. thank you. And Dr. O'Quinn?
Yeah, so I took this off of consent because it wasn't clear to me in the supporting information exactly what these disaster relief kits are. And I haven't seen this, particular thing come before us, use of neighborhood funds for disaster relief kits specifically. So I think Brummett Heights is doing something innovative, and, I think, I want to be aware of what they're doing so that, I can speak to my folks and, see if they're interested and want to do something similar. In the supporting documents that we received, the copies are pretty much illegible, so I see that there's a list there of what the kits include, but I couldn't make it out. It, vaguely looks like some cleaning supplies and things, but if anybody can speak to this, provide more information, I'd appreciate it.
I was about to say, I could make out some of it. It talked about having Lysol, first aid kit, sanitizer, bleach, wipes, and I think a flashlight.
I think it says a handheld
weather radio with a flashlight. I had to zoom in really hard.
It's bad.
Well,
Thank you. Can we just ask for another copy of this, just for the clarification?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we don't have any other requests to speak. Let's go ahead and vote on the item. All right, item 17 passes. Thank you. Next item.
Of intent to fund the athletic field improvements at Protective Stadium for the NUSFL Football League for an amount up to $500,000 beginning with the 2022 fiscal year, and urge the mayor to use revenue from the hotel lodging fund.
Another item?
Second.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, do we have anyone that would speak to this item? Mayor Woodfin or Mr. Davis?
No, ma'am.
Right. Mr. Davis, could you just come up and just tell us what we are urging the mayor to do?
Thank you, Madam. Fox Sports owns the rights to the USFL. They plan on relaunching the league, which was a huge success in the 80s, in the spring of 2022. Unlike previous versions of professional sports that have come here, Fox is the owner of the entire league. The entire league will be playing all of its games here. There'll be 8 teams here playing here in a bubble type format. There's a direct spend of the league of in excess of $8 million in lodging and in food and medical services directly here in the city of Birmingham. All 43 games of the league will be on one of 4 national broadcast television networks across the country, nationally broadcast, all from Birmingham. The games will be, I want to say as many as a third will be at Legion Field, with the rest and the remaining at Protective Stadium. The funds that are being asked to be expended, no funds are going to the USFL or to Fox Sports. This is all a budget that was from the BJCC to cover some unknown costs that it has, because this is such a novel idea, because it's not been proposed like this before, because this has never been done like this before. They had some unknown variables and they projected some costs. So the city has been asked, or the city is considering funding for the BJCC cost to help facilitate this league moving forward in Birmingham. There are other funding partners, other stakeholders in this that have committed to funding. The Convention and Visitors Bureau has committed up to $2 million. The county, I believe, they were meeting today in committee, were approving up to $500,000, and I think there is a general consensus of up to $500,000 from the city of Birmingham as well, for a total funding of $3 million to the BJCC. The BJCC has said that it's going to be doing a truing up of actual costs in July after the season has commenced. And so, if the revenues exceed what they have anticipated for their cost, this would be an up to amount. Certainly it would be lessened or be decreased proportional to what the actual revenues are. But that will be a truing up in July, and that's an issue for the BJCC. I don't want to defend their budget or their numbers. I just know that Fox Sports is bringing this opportunity to the city of Birmingham because of everything that's been going on here in Birmingham, all the buzz we've created nationally. I think this is an incredible opportunity for our city to put our city on the national spotlight and on the national stage, to show off the investments we've made in our facilities. We're going to be utilizing substantially Legion Field as well, so both stadiums are going to get a lot of activity and interest and exposure, and I just think it's an incredible opportunity, and I'm glad to answer any specific questions y'all may have, but that is the opportunity in a nutshell, if that's helpful.
Thank you. We appreciate you giving us that overview. Ms. Clark, you had a question?
Yes. I have a couple of questions of Mr. Davis. Who did you say was providing the $2 million?
The Greater Birmingham Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay. And I guess my other question is to Madam President and the Mayor. This is pretty much a non-binding intent to support at this time, but there would be an agreement or something at a later time that a contract, or, is this just to keep the negotiation going, put the deal together?
So there is right now a non-binding MOU with the BJCC for use of that stadium. There's also a non-binding agreement in place with the Parks and Rec Board for use of Legion Field. Both of those agreements are kind of contingent on securing the various funding elements from the various stakeholders, at which point we'd be moving forward to make a formal announcement and start with the inaugural season kickoff and planning and a lot of other activities involved with that. Okay. So getting the funding secured and committed through resolution is a part of those agreements,
putting the pieces together for to seal the deal, in essence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. I have one other request to speak. That's Mr. Moore.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
So I know I was reading and had a chance to, really kind of do some research and find out about the past of the USFL and some of the things that took place. Learned about, some of the well-known players that had an opportunity to participate in USFL as well. Folks like Herschel Walker and Doug Flutie and things of that nature.
Go Cribs.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of caught my eye and, drew some concern was the non-Birmingham teams that, are in the league, the non-Birmingham teams. It says after 2022, that first season, that they would, disperse and possibly go to their other cities. And I was, kind of curious as to, would the same thing happen to the team that would be here as well?
No, Birmingham's going to maintain and keep a team in perpetuity. The first year idea is really to focus on the national exposure and attention and awareness in launching the league, doing cost containment so the Houston team's not flying to New Jersey every week and the Tampa team isn't flying to New Orleans that's a cost that, by just having all the games broadcast here, will be an opportunity for them to just focus on the money they spend launching and promoting the league to build it up. After this first season, the plan is to take at least a minimum of 4 of the 8 teams and place them in their host cities, get stadium agreements in those cities, get, all the things that they're going to be doing here in those cities for that team. Birmingham would still maintain a team, and then by year 3, have all the teams host, in their respective cities. There is also an element of this, so that's the plan for year 3, to have all the teams in their host cities. Birmingham would have a team going forward in perpetuity.
And would they still continue to play at both Protective as well as Legion? I
can't answer that because I think it's a 3-year agreement. I can't answer that. I think it's a 3-year engagement for Protective. I don't know about how many years it is. I think it's a multi-year deal for Legion Field, and they're going to be reserving the rights going forward in terms of which field they decide to play on. But I think it's a multi-year agreement for both, I believe.
Thank you so much for answering those questions. I don't have any other requests to speak, so we're ready to call for the vote. And I did want to ask if we need a clarification or a change. It says the 2022 fiscal year. Should there be 2023 or 2022? It's
23, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. So we'll add that change in the year, Mr. Clerk, and we'll call for the vote. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you for y'all's leadership and y'all's interest, and I really appreciate it. Mayor, thank you as well.
So item 18 is before us.
I need council. Okay. How would you like to vote, Clark?
We'll just get a verbal.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, that motion passes unanimously. Thank you, councilors. We'll be cheering for the Stallions, hopefully. Thank you. Next item, Mr.
Should be
Clerk.
item 39. A resolution accepting and approving the bid of Galls LLC, Lexington, Kentucky, for the police uniforms and related accessory groups 1 and 2, as needed at unit price on file in the office of the purchasing agent for a period of 1 year, guaranteed with the option of renewal, contingent upon council approval. For the City of Birmingham Police Department, this being the lowest and most responsive bid submitted meeting specifications.
All right, we had moved this item because we had someone that said they wanted to speak to this item. So, sir, if you'll come up and give us your name and address.
Madam President, councilors, my name is Edward Smith. I'm the owner of BAC, a municipal uniform, Birmingham, Alabama.
We're going to have to speak into the mic a little bit.
I'm the owner of Municipal and Commercial Uniform here downtown Birmingham. I'm here with my wife and my business partner. We are the other bidder on this contract. Everybody else is talking about spending money. I'm talking about saving you money. On the first item on this contract, we are the apparent low bidder by 5%, or $37,000. And if you look at our alternate bid, we are apparent low bidder by $90,000, or 14%. Now, I've asked the purchasing department the question why we were not awarded this bid, and they said they cannot talk to me till after the bid is awarded. The only question they have asked me on this contract is where my samples were for items 1 through 7, I believe. And in your bid, on those items, it says successful bidder shall furnish a pre-production sample of those items. It's not asking for a sample of the items with the bid. These items are special made, special cut, special dyed, that take, the mill doesn't even have the fabric to make the goods out of at this point in time. So I'm asking you, I don't understand why we're not being considered for this award. we offer, since I was here last time, Mr. Abbott, you asked about ISO. ISO has not been taken out of this contract, but they're only asking for ISO certification on certain items. Second of all, the other thing I brought up the last time we were here was business hours and the requirement of 3 to 5 day turnaround, which the last vendor defaulted on. Well, the last vendor didn't fulfill because they changed their business hours during the middle of the contract. And here again, they take 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 weeks to turn around alterations. That's where I brought up the point that y'all are paying for alterations in the contract, and then the officers are bringing the clothes to us because they can't wait the 3 to 4 weeks to get the necessary alterations done. It's still happening. We have a low bid here. We offer a better service. We're offering more business hours. And I'm at a quandary of what I have to do or what we have to do to prove to the mayor's office, the purchasing department, to be awarded this contract.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Whitman, I guess what I'd just like to ask you to explain to us the bid process, not necessarily the entire bid process, but as it relates to this item, or if someone could speak to the fact of what took place and how we were able to satisfy bid laws in this item.
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Jim Stanley can speak to them.
Mr. Mitchell is going to speak.
Attorney Jim Stanley, it should be able to speak to this matter.
No. Madam Attorney, if you wouldn't mind, please allow Chief of Operations Chaz Mitchell to briefly address the council and provide a skinny and rundown.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, Madam President. If the council recalled, the vendor asked for this item to be reconsidered by the city of Birmingham, not by the mayor's office, not by the purchasing agent. So this was actually put out for a rebid. During that rebid process, this vendor was not awarded the rebid due to some specifications that did not meet the qualifications from the chief of police. So that is the reason why this item is before the council and it's awarded to the vendor that's on the agenda.
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate that, sir, but I do bring up the fact that it is the council who has the authorization that spends the money, and I'm trying to save the city money and also give you a better service. I do meet all your specifications.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Again, we understand the role of the administration and the council, and on this particular item, we've received the clarification from administration on how the bid was processed and how it was determined. If there are any other questions from councilors, thank you, sir. Are there any other questions? I don't see any speakers that want to speak to this item. We'll go ahead and call for the vote. Thank you, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Smith. Okay, that item passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for your time.
Wait a minute, excuse me.
Woods is out.
Woods is out.
Now, Councilman Clark.
Ms. Clark, I'm sorry. All right, the item passes. Thank you. Next item.
Should be just communications from my office. First, dealing with the emergency item. Receiving the emergency purchase notice from purchasing agent relative to the police tactical building, AC unit part 2. And I think that we have an addendum item, which
yes, sir.
A resolution ratifying the council committees and members as approved by the council president.
Can you ask him? Second?
Who's second? Okay.
Give us 1 second, Mr. Clerk.
Okay.
right, thank you. We do have item 48 before us, and it's a resolution ratifying the council committees and members as approved by the president. And so, Mr. Clerk, do we take the vote first and then you read them, or do you read those items for us, or can I read them?
It's up to you, Madam President. Normally, I just do the synopsis, but I can read the committees if you want me to. That's up to you.
I appreciate it since we have new counselors.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. We have the Administration Committee. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sir. We're sorry.
For the Administration Committee, we have chairing Council President Alexander, and we have Councilors Abbott and Clark on the Administration Committee. For the Budget and Finance Committee, we have the chair as President Pro Tem Smithman, and we have Councilors Abbott and Alexander also on that committee. On the Government Affairs and Public Information Committee, we have Council Member Woods chairing that committee. We have Councilors Clark and Abbott on that committee. On the Economic Development and Tourism Committee, we have Council Member Hunter Williams chairing, and we have Council Members Jonathan Moore and Council Members Darrell Quinn on that committee. On the Education Committee, we have chairing Council Member Moore. Also on that committee, Council Members O'Quinn and Woods. On the Park and Recreation and Cultural Arts Committee, we have the chair as Council Member Clark. Other councilors on that committee are Smitherman and Tate. On the Planning and Zoning Committees, we have the chair as Council Member Abbott, and the other council members accompanying her are Tate and Woods. On the Public Improvement Committee, we have the chair, Council Member Smitherman, Pro Tem Smitherman, and the other councilors Moore and Woods occupying that committee. On the Public Safety Committee, we have the chair as Councilmember Tate, and the other committee members are Smitherman and Williams. On the Transportation Committee, we have Council Member Darrell O'Quinn chairing that committee, and the other council members joining him are Tate and Woods. On the Utilities Technology Committee, we have Council President Alexander chairing that committee, with other committee members consisting of Councilmember O'Quinn and Williams. And the Committee of the Whole, of course, Council President Alexander will chair that, and then all members of council as well. City of Birmingham Fire and Police and Retirement and Relief System Chair, Council Member President Alexander. And the Census 2020 Redistricting Committee, President Alexander will chair, accompanied by Council Member Williams and President Pro Tem Smitherman.
Thank you. Don't have any speakers or anyone to speak. I'm hoping we get unanimous consent. Do we have a motion?
We did.
I'm sorry. We did. I apologize. So if we could go ahead and call for the vote for this resolution.
Council members Abbott and Woods is absent. Council Member Abbott.
Thank you very much.
Oops.
At everybody?
I moved somebody around by mistake. All right, that vote should be up.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the dedication and service, counselors, that will be rendered by serving as chair and members of these committees. We're also asking, and we ask that other counselors feel free to participate and visit your counselors for those committee meetings so that you have a good understanding of when items are brought before us. We will have an opportunity to meet and have some direction by our council administrator just on how we move and flow with committee meetings. We do have some times that are already set for those meetings. A lot of those meetings are dependent upon how we work with the administrative staff in getting that information to your committee to consider. So we'll work with Ms. Kidd if there are any. I don't expect there to be any changes in meeting dates and times of what we already have set forth, but we can have those discussions. We're open to those discussions, but we want to be sure that when we set our meetings, we again don't totally disrupt the process and flow that we've already had when we need the information from the other committees. That's fair? All right. Thank you, Ms. Clark. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Clark.
How can we get a list of all the dates and times of the meetings, that aren't, because we have a current list of the ones this week, but...
Correct. Yes, we'll go ahead and ask the Administrator Kidd will provide us with that information. Okay. We did ask that last week. We had asked for at least 2-week cancellation. I know meetings were not to be held this week in order to allow you all to take your roles as new committee chairs and members. So I don't expect us to have, I think Budget and Finance may be the only one that has a set time, but we'll talk with Councilor Smith about that. But otherwise, we will get Administrator Kidd to provide that information to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Is that our last item, Mr. Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. At this time, I would like to ask for a suspension of the rules. I believe we do have one speaker left that wanted to come up and speak with us.
She stepped out with the mayor.
That is Mrs. Hammond. Come on up and give us your name and address, please. Thank you.
Good morning. I also my name is Tammy Smith. My address is 1708 33rd Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama 35207. I also actually wanted to formally congratulate the mayor because he's never here when it's time for the speakers for the last 5 years. I'm beginning to wonder why. But anyway, I want to say congratulations to my new 5 women council. My new name for the 5 women council is the 5-Star Chicks of Birmingham. And it's 5-Star Chicks, and I'm looking for some great things out you 5. The 5, remember that when you hear it again. That's my description of you 5. The 5-Star Chicks. When they hear that, they're going to know we talking about Birmingham 5-Star Chicks, because that's what you are. And I'm looking for big and great things out of you. Miss LaTanya, y'all, it makes me want to cry. I've been knowing that young lady for at least 20 years. And I'll be honest to say, I would want to rather real hard for her to be in that seat. Her and Miss Clark. We go way back, Miss Clark. So and now I'm focused on issues, not necessarily the person, because I know it's the mayor's discretion for y'all to get things done, which I think we shouldn't have to bring the mayor stuff like the problem, like they didn't pick up our trash Thursday, and it's our trash day. And I feel like, and I don't want that to be a domino effect. They didn't even pick it up, and it was the actual day. I know there's a lot going on in the city, and it is the Magic City. And I just want to say, again, congratulations to you all, especially my women. Y'all know I'd rather for a woman mayor, and I'm not giving up with these 5 stars I got now. So it's still a possibility that we might one day. No disrespect to the mayor. I like Mayor Wolfman, besides he eye candy too. But I'm just being honest. I'm not, no disrespect. But, 5 women on the Birmingham City Council. What were Arthur Gunn's famous words? Anybody know?
I know.
Can you count to how many? 5. Okay, I can count to 5. 5 queens. So I just wanted to come congratulate you all, and I'm looking for great things, and y'all know I'm coming back. I'm going to be on all of it, not just one. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, at this time, we'll have comments by our councilors. Ms. Clark, do you have any comments from your district? Okay. Dr. O'Quinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to mention that we do have 2 neighborhood meetings tonight. Eastlake and Councilor Abbott will tell you about Forest Park, South Avondale. Eastlake meeting is in person at Household of Faith Church on Division Avenue in Eastlake. Also, at the very same time, Crestwood is having a neighbor night at Crestwood Tavern, and they've asked me to come speak at that, so I will not be able to attend the Eastlake neighborhood meeting. Wahoma is scheduled to have a neighborhood meeting Thursday night, and I believe that they will be doing that via Zoom. And I believe that, one other thing, there is a service day for the Rotary Trail on Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. If you would like to volunteer to participate in that event, I believe you can find the further information at Rotary Birmingham. Again, that's a Rotary Trail Service Day, 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you. That concludes my announcements.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, do you have any?
No announcements, just a thank you. I want to, make sure that I echo the thanks from my colleagues, Councilor Woods and Councilor Williams, to Representative Hollis for her support of our neighborhoods over in the eastern side of Birmingham. And so I know I had several neighborhoods that were a part of that list as well. And so just want to make sure that I say thank you to her and her continued support. So.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Madam President. We're making it great in District 8. Trying to come up with something there. The Neighborhood Advocates for Justice Halloween Safe Candy Drive took place this past Sunday. That was at the helm of Ms. Susan Palmer. It was very successful. It was at the Crossplex and featured community leaders, Birmingham Fire Department, and Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. We're so appreciative of our neighbors providing safe and fun activities for our children. And I'd like to congratulate the students from PD Jackson Olin for winning the Classic Pitch competition that was hosted by Councilor Woods. The students took home the gold for their ideas around pandemic-proofing education for the high school division of that competition. Also, there is a Birmingham College Scholarship and Career Fair to be held this Thursday, November 4th, from 8 p.m. to 1 p.m. at the Boutwell, 8 a.m., to 1 p.m. at the Boutwell. So that's this week. Over 60 colleges and university representatives are expected to attend, as well as representatives of short certificate trade programs. For more information, you can go to www.myaccap, which is myacap.org. And then the 5 Points West Community Tree Lighting will be held on December 11th at the Birmingham Crossplex. We'll have some more details as we get closer to that event. I'd also like to note that we do also have 2 neighborhood meetings tonight. Fairview neighborhood meets via teleconference, and then the Thomas neighborhood meets at the Mount Hebron Church, and they meet in person. That completes my announcements for District 8. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Abbott?
Thank you very much. I want to say congratulations to everybody on your new committee assignments, especially President Pro Tem Smitherman. I know that this is going to be a lot of fun. Sunday morning, we're having daylight savings time switch over, so everybody remember that so you don't miss church. Bring forward and fall back. Well, you might not miss church. Anyway, tonight we have the Forest Park South Avondale neighborhood meeting at 6:30. They meet in person at the Avondale Library. Socially spaced, sort of. So that's all for me.
Thank you, Ms. Abbott. Ms. Tate?
I just want to echo what everyone else has said. Thank you all, and thank you all to Madam President, Madam Pro Tem, all of the council colleagues, Ms. Smith for that great warm welcome to this power team of individuals. I do know that we have the Civico Finley neighborhood meeting on tonight, and as Council Clark said, the Thomas, because we share that president. And also, I'll be enlightening you all on the Pratt City Christmas Festival as that event unfolds. I do know it is slotted for December the 8th, so I'll keep everybody posted on that. But again, thank you all for your commitment.
Thank you very much. Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam President. If you don't mind, I have a constituent here, Ms. Mosley, if she still wanted to speak.
while she's on her way.
Okay, so some of the announcements, we have 3 neighborhood meetings this week. I will be with President Alexander at Oakwood Place neighborhood meeting today at Harrison Park at 4 p.m. We also have Mason City neighborhood meeting today at 4:30 via teleconference. The call-in number is 712-770-8017. Access code is 843426. And lastly, tomorrow at 5 p.m. at Memorial Park North Titusville meeting will occur. And then after Ms. Mosley speak, we have a video that I'll introduce. Oh, yes, ma'am. We're just happy you're here.
Thank you, Ms. Mosley. We're happy to see you. You may want to pull that mic down for a thing.
Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Congratulations to all of you who were reelected and to the new councilors. Welcome. I come this morning to talk about the Birmingham Public Library. I was here about 3 weeks ago, and the mayor very graciously hosted a group of us to talk about the concerns of the libraries. I am going to ask all of you, counselors, to go and visit the libraries in your district. You, the council, appoint the trustees of the Birmingham library system. Their proposal to close 4 libraries, they're cutting back on the hours of operations of libraries. It's unacceptable in a city where we are struggling with education for our children in the Birmingham public school system, where our reading scores are low, our graduation rates are not what they should be, and we in this city are talking about closing down libraries. There could be monetary problems I'm quite sure that the trustees are struggling with. There could be structural problems that they are struggling with, but they need to come and talk to the community. They need to come and talk to you. They need to tell you what their plans are. You appointed them. I know Councilor Abbott, when I was here 3 weeks ago, you said that there were some good trustees. I'm going to say to you now, Councilor Abbott, I don't think so. They haven't talked to us. So I don't know whether they're good or bad. All I know is about what they have done, that they have proposed to close down 4 libraries. And I understand that the reason we have maybe so many libraries is because of segregation. I'm 83. I grew up in that time. So you know I understand that we may have too many libraries. I understood when Mr. O'Quinn said today that he hoped we were not adding a new park to the 114 or whatever the number was he gave that we already have. I understand that. But the libraries are different. They are different. Everybody doesn't have a computer. Everybody doesn't have a smartphone. But everybody can go to the library. You need to ask the trustees whom you appointed to come and tell you what their thoughts are, what their vision is for the city of Birmingham and the books that they are responsible for. I believe that we can do better, and y'all need to appoint some better trustees to the library. You need to ask them to come. You need to ask them to tell you something, because they certainly haven't told the community anything, haven't said a word to us. The only thing they have done is fired people and talked about closing down libraries. And if that's all we can do is close down libraries in a city where we are struggling with educational problems, then we need new trustees. Surrounding cities have not talked about closing down a library. They're open and they're flourishing, and I think we deserve as much.
Thank you, Ms.
And I
Moses.
thank you very much, my counselor, for asking me to speak. I said I wouldn't talk long, and I'm going to try to hold myself to that. But we need new trustees.
Thank you, Ms. Mosley. And Pro Tem, you said you had a film.
Yes, Madam President. This past weekend, we celebrated the 80th Annual Magic City Classic. Many of our offices participate in the parade in the morning. It was Councilor Tate, Councilor Clark, Councilor O'Quinn, and myself. And we continue into the pregame and halftime festivals. It was wonderful having the Classic back this year, and our PIO team prepared this video wrap-up to show you just how successful the weekend was, and congratulations to Alabama A&M for winning the game. Kim, we're ready.
Man, it's a great time. We got all kind of bands right here in downtown Birmingham having a great time.
This is really a great way for people to get out, have some family fun, and really celebrate the 80th Magic City Classic, which is the largest HBCU Classic in the country, and really means so much when you think about what it must have been for Black people 80 years ago, when going to college was a really special thing and a rare thing. To be able to celebrate this long legacy of education is really fun.
And we are here to celebrate Alabama State and Alabama A&M and the city of Birmingham.
So we get to tailgate, have fun, enjoy the bands, and just really just celebrate this HBCU environment spirit. Yeah, it's great.
Well, the energy so far is amazing. It's great. I think people are definitely in for a treat today.
It's been a great Classic week since we returned from skipping last year, and so really enjoying it so far, man. Expecting to wrap it up with a great game today, great tailgate. So it's been a strong week, man. We just got to finish.
To have all of these people in Birmingham after a 2-year hiatus, representing real strong, showing real spirit, support for A&M and Alabama State, and the new elected city council members. So we thank you. Looking forward to serving you all, and we hope you all be safe and have a wonderful time in the Magic City.
And for more from the Birmingham City Council, follow along with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Stay safe, Birmingham.
Madam President.
Thank you very much. I think I can speak for everyone in the city that we did have a great time, and this week with the tailgating experience, great support from the corporate community, and so for the safety of the fire and the policemen that were on hand. And so we just want to say, for the residents on behalf of the city, we were happy to host the alums and fans of Alabama State and Alabama A&M. I think A&M won, and there was one casualty. The coach from Alabama State was fired yesterday. So we see that game means a lot to the SWAC and to football. So thank you very much. Before I start with my council comments, I do want to just reiterate, this weekend not only did we have the Classic, but we had major stoppage of traffic because of trains that were stalled on tracks, primarily a lot of them in District 7, District 6. I believe we had some other also in Councilor Moore's district, and so it caused a great amount of confusion, just residents having to turn around, redirect themselves. And so I just want to say for members of the public, the moment that we were made aware of how dire and how impactful those trains being left on our tracks, Council Pro Tem and I, we immediately put the mayor on speed dial and his staff, and they began to work with not only federal staff, but also with the staff on the trains. Now, Dr. O'Quinn has regained that opportunity now to work as chair of the Transportation Committee, and thank God he has the memory of an elephant. He was able to tell us some things that had occurred before, because I am very concerned when it comes to, I don't want anyone to be nonchalant or not provide us with the information. When we have residents that are out there, they can't get to their homes, there is a safety impact, and I think all of the councilors, as well as the mayor and his team, we want to see some resolve in that. I want to thank the citizens that reached out to us, either through social media, we had emails, we had phone calls. I want to thank one citizen in particular, Mr. Porterfield, from over in Oakwood Place. He actually went around and took pictures at each one of those cross streets on Jefferson Avenue. There were several that were blocked. And so I thank him, because when the train companies came back and asked, well, where are they blocked? Well, we were able to send all of that information to the mayor so that he could immediately communicate. So it's residents, we appreciate you for the way that you communicated, and I want to thank the mayor and his team for the way that they quickly reached out to the train companies. And I wanted to get Mr. O'Quinn just to give us an update and see where we'll go.
Yeah, so thanks again for my regaining position as the chair of the Transportation Committee. So one thing that I'll just mention that's important to know is there have been some changes at the federal level that are really impacting the city's ability to address this situation. So therefore, I think it's really important that citizens of the city of Birmingham who are being impacted, communicate with their federal representatives. Terry Sewell in particular I've met with her in person on this issue in Washington, D.C. To talk about this, along with representatives of the rail lines sitting alongside. So this is, gotten attention all the way to the very top. I would encourage residents to continue to communicate that to their federal representation. It's important that they are also hearing about this issue and are working to give some relief. The other thing that I'll say is that I have been in conversation with President Alexander and Pro Tem Smitherman, and have devised a way of collecting information about the true impact of this. I think exactly what President Alexander said. It's important to actually document this in a way that's independent from what the rail companies themselves might tell us. We have to generate data that actually shows exactly where these blockages are occurring and for how long and how frequently. So we have a plan to be able to collect that information that I will be sharing with my other colleagues. But please know that we hear you. I personally, just from District 5, I have residents of Harris Homes, or what most people call the SHAP, over on the east side. I have residents that call me pretty much every day about one or both of the crossings on either side of the SHAP that get blocked. When both of those crossings are blocked, the residents cannot get in or out except by a pedestrian tunnel that was built in the late 1960s and is not ADA compliant. So it's a serious issue. Please know that we are working on it, but you will be helping us if you contact your federal representatives, Terry Sewell, the senators, and letting them hear from you. That will do a lot to draw attention to this issue and give us some weight to be able to do something. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Quinn. Just for the announcements from District 7, we do have our virtual first Thursday in D7 Town Hall. This will take place Thursday at 6:30, November 4th. We will have as our guest Mr. David Northern, who is over the Housing Authority of Birmingham District, and he's making some changes over there, and he wants to come over and talk to residents and just make them aware of what's going on. So we'll give you that dial-in number, but that'll be Thursday, 6:30, first Thursday in D7. We do have Jones Valley Neighborhood Association meeting. They'll be meeting virtually on Friday, November 5th. And I do want to announce that we have a new arrival in D7. We want to congratulate our District 7 Chief of Staff. We are so grateful to have Miss Ashton Dior Hall. She was born on Wednesday, October 27th at 1:10 p.m. She weighed 5.4 pounds and she was 17 inches long. So we want to congratulate Mrs. Isola Hall and her husband, Mr. DeMichael Hall. And just want to let you know, I talked with Isola yesterday. The family is doing well, and we just bless them on this this big bundle of joy. We're so happy to have them in D7. I do want to ask that we did have 2 speakers that had asked to speak, and so I'm going to go ahead and ask them during my comments to come up, and then we'll be able to go. We have, I believe, we had one resident who wanted to come up. Ma'am, if you give us your name. We've got 3 minutes, if you just please say it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is a blessing to be with you today.
And we're going to speak in that mic.
In 2003, I ran for mayor of
Your
the
name?
city. Sandy Bergeron. Some of you know me. Some of my good friends are up here. I'm real proud of you. You all have taken the city to another level, and I congratulate you on that. I see much more cooperation. My degree is in clinical and social assessment of behavior. So I just watched this meeting, and I saw, not that it's perfect, but you have much better cooperation between the mayor's office and the council. Everybody's polite. I've been here when there was shooting matches. Shouting matches. Sorry. The shooting matches happen in the street. I came today because my heart is broken for our city. The book I study says that God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I want you to claim that, and I want you to walk in it. Because no government official should be afraid of anything. This is the United States of America. I'm not afraid. I know who's got me covered. And I go anywhere, any time of the day or night, whether there's shooting or not. Because my mission is to see that it stops. That's the job God gave me. Mike Murdoch preaches on TV. And not long ago, he said at 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't sleep well, I'm old. He said that the thing you cry over, the thing you weep over, is your mission from God. And I have cried enough tears over the young people who've died in our city from gunshots to fill up this room and, in fact, this building. So I'm letting you know, if you want to help me, good. If you don't, get out of the way, because I'm coming, and I'm not playing. This is very serious. This wasn't going on when I moved here. I came here in 1974, and people were not being shot to death in the street. Nobody. Not even people who were angry with each other were shooting each other to death. And we are not idiots. All of y'all are smart. I'm smart. We got lots of smart citizens. Now, you want to fix your train problem? You can buy 2 bags of rocks at Home Depot for $6 and something a piece. And if you put them in the right spot on that train track, no train is going to move. It ain't. They say you can't stop a train. That's somebody's slogan, but that's a lie. You can stop a train with $24 worth of rocks. I guarantee you. And I suggest that some citizen who's really sick of this nickel up at the convenience store, get the money, and go put the rocks on the track, and you'll stop the train.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you. We have one last speaker, and I believe he's bearing gifts. So come on up, and we're looking for something positive to end our day. You'll give us your name and address.
Good morning, councilors. I'm Carlos Chavez Jr. from Denver, Colorado. So this morning, I just wanted to first start by congratulating all of our councilors who are reelected and welcoming our new 3 councilors to the city council. I believe that this is the best council that Birmingham has seen, the best form of leadership that Birmingham could possibly have to date. And I believe that you all will really do what's best, what's in the best interest of the people of Birmingham. With that, I've had the opportunity to visit and travel to 8 different countries over the past few years. And one of the countries I visited was Ghana. And I believe at that time I came back from Ghana. Ms. Abbott, you were the council president at the time. And I remember we took a photo in one of the dashikis I got from Ghana. However, my goal is to write a children's book based upon every country that I visit so that our children will be able to have hope and understand that there's life beyond just Birmingham and that there are other possibilities out there in the world. So with that, I self-published and wrote my very first book. It's called My First Trip Home. And this is a children's book about a kid named Montez who is my middle name, who dealt with a lot of issues. From his parents came to America on college scholarships, and they dealt with racism their time because they didn't speak like regular people, what they say, or whatever the case may be. And so basically, Montez grew up, and his parents wanted to shield him from knowing about racism. They didn't want him to know that racism existed. But he ended up walking into racism himself. And so it kind of gave him a hard time of how to deal with it. So he started getting in trouble in school, and eventually his parents said, well, we're going to take you home. And so his parents took him to Ghana, where they were from, and in Ghana, he was able to be in a place where everyone looked like him, a place where everyone somewhat spoke like him, and it was just a different experience for him. And so when he came back to America and the kids were bullying on him, he was able to be very confident in who he was in his classroom, and he was able to really build that confidence. So this book is about, it highlights racism that happens in America, but it also is a message for kids that no matter that you can know who you are. You know, one of the chapters is called I Know Who I Am, and that's what we want kids to know. So I gave each one for the mayor and each of our council members as a special note for each of you in the book. But this is a gift for you all because I want you all to read this so that hopefully you could share this with children in your communities. I'm here this week and I'm giving away 300 books to kids in different school systems across the city. But I would like for you all to have this as well. So
thank you very much. We appreciate you, and I love to read the book. Thank you. At this time, we'll have a call for our last item. Mr. Williams, you want to take us out?
Yeah, did we play Clint's video?
Did we play
Clint's video?
Did Clint have video? We'll go ahead and play it. Do we have a video
did y'all have a video for Mr. Woods?
I'm sorry.
He asked in his absence that it be played. This is not on me. I don't know what's on the video.
Really what they
complex issues, taking significant issues, taking issues where honestly there's times where you're living through history and they're kind of pulling that information down and putting it out in a way that people can understand it.
Whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to be an architect, writing and communication are at the core of being able to service your audience, being able to get your message out, being able to tell your story. And unfortunately, what has happened in a lot of our schools is that the basics of writing have sort of fallen by the wayside.
Really a great opportunity to allow them to kind of tell their story, talk about writing, talk about what made them want to get into the profession.
Most of what I actually write about, my background is in criminal justice reporting, and so now most of the work that I do does center around investigations, more in-depth reporting, enterprise reporting as we call it, the criminal justice system and the way that it affects, the people who wind up kind of caught in the system, and just, I don't know, really hearing from them and telling their stories is really important, because I think that something that's been missing in news coverage of that system is the voices of the people who have actually been affected by it.
Several have been finalists and won Pulitzer Prize here locally, and so I know earlier this year we had a lot of nominees and a lot of people ended up winning, a lot of finalists, and so we were very excited about that. But I was talking to young people, and a lot of them didn't know what the Pulitzer Prize was, and we definitely had a knowledge gap.
I think the most important thing I got out of it was authenticity. I feel like that applies to any profession or career you want to do in life, period. Just making sure that you remain true to yourself and finding your purpose in your own lane and creating your own space for yourself.
To trust yourself, honestly. Everybody always says, find your voice and use your voice. What does that mean? Who knows what that means? I never knew what that meant forever. I used to work with a guy named Rick Bragg, who a lot of people know. He's a very famous, great writer. And I wanted to write like him for so long, And then I realized, that when I tried to do that, I just sounded like a cheap imitation of Rick Bragg. And so when I started just trusting that voice inside my head that tells you what to do and when to brush your teeth and all that stuff, I realized that's my voice, and that's the only thing I have in the world that's unique to me. And so I think when people trust themselves and just believe that somebody might want to hear.
I was able to have a front row seat, courtside seat, front row press box seat at some of the greatest sporting events in the world as a sports journalist, working for Sports Illustrated, the New York Times, Fortune magazine. I covered Super Bowls, World Series, NCAA championships, NBA championships, NASCAR, Wimbledon, the French Open, you pretty much name it, and I was there.
And so I think reading is very important for people who want to be writers, and I would also say just don't lose your confidence. I've always said that I'm a better reporter than I actually am a writer, but I have really good editors who are able to help me with that and help me get better. And so I think just keeping the confidence is really important.
Really exposing younger people, the community, to what they do, kind of what goes into it, and really hopefully inspiring the next generation to continue to value writing.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all.